This will be a day long remembered. Now I am the master.
Welcome to another episode of Legends and Theories, and welcome to my upload of the Ahsoka panel. This is an interview with Rosario Dawson, mainly about her time in Ahsoka. A few other questions come up, but it's primarily about her time in Ahsoka. So, as with the other ones, there's going to be a few odd edits. This is the one where I did the least cuts in it, and that's mainly because I couldn't find good opportunities to. I also do get to ask my own question in this one, which is fun, so you'll see that. Again, there'll be a few odd cuts, as I said. And if you came up and said your real name and you would like that edited out, please let me know in the comments. Just give me the timestamp and I'll edit it out as soon as possible. So let's go and start this up.
I need y'all to make all the noise, show all the love for Miss Rosario Dawson!
Starting with the cartwheel. I remember this, if anyone was here at the last one, I didn't realize this is a thing that he does.
It is not a thing, it is not.
We can make it a thing.
Why?
Why not?
I do recall the last time that we talked about this, you said that if I did a cartwheel, you would do a cartwheel. Damn it. Are you going first? Is it ladies first? Is that what we're doing? What? But it's ladies unrespectful. Yeah. We have to choreograph that one. We'll practice that one next time. All right, so I gotta go first. Y'all better follow me on Instagram right now. Right, get it done.
Oh, you said no shout-outs.
Get the hat here. Use the force!
I love cartwheels, so that's exactly the reason. Why do we have to stop cartwheeling when we're in our 40s? I don't think that. I think that should not be a thing.
Who said?
Plus, I'm inspired by the Olympics. Come on, guys.
I'm all out of breath. Now, okay, so.
I should take my jacket off and have the whole moment. Sorry.
No, it's all good. No, what you did was perfect. We needed it. Thank you for joining us today.
The best way to start, where we can just be out of breath as we start with you. Hi, here. We're so fit.
But no, sincerely, thank you for joining us. This is the perfect recap to a great weekend. I know you weren't with us the entire time. How has today been for you?
It's been awesome. I appreciate y'all so much. It's been so great. And being here at a ChicagoCon is always my favorite.
You know it?
Specifically because I got to meet Carrie Fisher
Come on!
here because and that was before I could have even imagined I could be part of the Star Wars world. And it just always resonates with me. You had like the dopest hug, and I just remember like everyone we had signed, and it was like some of the biggest celebrities I'd ever met. It was so exciting, and then the whole place shut down, and she still had a line around the block, like, and she was there with her little dog, and just so sweet and so wonderful, and everyone was so great with her, and I just remember just like having such a feeling of like, wow, what a beautiful fandom. Like I get to be a part of this because of so many projects I've been a part of, but to see the level of like love that she was getting and like like that community was just something I admired from afar, and it just blows my mind to be able to be here now and have people talking about how much Star Wars means to them and be able to say like, I'm a part of that as well now. So it's just the coolest thing
Questions that I'm gonna ask you before we throw it out to the audience.
Can I just say I'm super impressed because you interview me all the time now because we've been doing a lot of these cons recently, and you always throw out some like totally different questions, and it just shows how lazy a lot of other interviewers are. You kind of repeat the same questions, and you always give me something good, and I'm always like, let me think about that. That's so dope. Just saying, for all you aspiring journalists, like make it interesting. Keep it cool.
Rushing up here now? Why do you do this to me? This is supposed to be for you.
I got my Cuban contingent here. Where's my family?
What up, though? Where they at? Where they at?
Let's give it up with that Vietnam.
Roll for the squad. I love it. Roll deep. That's what I'm talking about. I love it. Okay, so.
You always gotta be that thing, you know what I'm saying? Because you never know.
Okay, so let's get serious. You illuminate every role that you've ever been in. You shine in every room you walk into.
Wasn't that cool how you went into like interviews? Like,
That's right, you said it was just
did you hear that?
Boom,
That was
great.
dope. That was so professional. I thought you took it back from the car.
Yeah, try it.
I'm serious though, but for real.
Okay.
Okay.
But no, seriously, you are truly the epitome of a star. But are there people that you get starstruck by?
People hit me all the time.
What?
Yes. People say I'm starstruck. I'm like, not yet.
Yeah, not yet. Watching out. But no, do you
Funny, I
ever?
like
I'm all for the comment. All for the comment. But yeah,
Pretty fun.
is there anyone?
Eh.
Little did we know that we I'm sorry. That was a serious deep cut. Y'all missed it. That's all right. It's a New York thing. So yeah, are there any stars that like when you have met them, you're like, oh my gosh.
Well, Carrie Fisher was definitely one of them. And if anyone's seen the BTS of when I was
Yes.
filming on Boba Fett, everyone
Yes.
saw how I like completely lost my marbles meeting Mark for the first time. Which I couldn't believe they put me on blast like that. But I was like, that's cool. But I have to say, like my two biggest ones. I got to meet David Bowie.
Oh. No. We need that story.
And I'm friendly, like I'm dropping names here. I'm friendly with Iman. She's fire. She's like come through the Lower East Side Girls Club and all kinds of cool things. But David's like my person. I have a star tattoo for Black Star, specifically for him. And I just remember just meeting him and just like losing my mind. And then the only other person that I honestly could not, and like, who's probably my number one, is Tim Curry. I knew I wasn't like the other girls when I watched Legend and I was rooting for darkness. I was like, who wants sparkly ass Tom Cruise and they can have barrel chested horns? Tim Curry. And I remember almost meeting him like 20 years ago, over 20 years ago, at an upfront in New York, and I saw him, he was in a wheelchair. There's all these people around him. And I walked close enough to see him better, but not so close that I could hear his voice because I swear to you, I was worried I would pass out. And if I heard, toxic love, like, I mean, it's so many things, like communism's a red herring, like,
Great.
It's just so many different movies.
Just encapsulate all of your
And just, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like absolutely obsessed with Tim Curry. He's the reason why I do voiceover work. I literally, it's wanting to do stuff with special effects and prosthetics to comedy to just all the things. Like he has the range of that man. And then I got to actually meet him, not personally, but online, because we did a reading of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And it was the most amazing thing because I told him I have him in my blood. My mom dressed up like Frankenfurter when she was 8 months pregnant of me. So like, since I wasn't even out of the womb yet, and I was just like, just like, I remember watching the movie for the first time when I was 10, and there was that moment where he's coming down the elevator and the platform chute, you can see it just like pumping before the cape. And I'm sitting there like this, watching the TV and going, I just feel like my life is about to change. And then it did, forever. And so I did a short film that I did, and I even did a mock-up, like kind of homage to that exact beat.
Where is this? We need this. We need a short film.
It's great. It's called Boundless. But I'm just saying, I'm that obsessed with him. And so I remember telling him the story about my mom had dressed up like him for like a live, they did like this, you do like the premiere screening or whatever of the movie they would do every Friday.
Absolutely.
And then she was performing, and she was 8 months pregnant. So her like corset was like out to here. And I remember he's looking at us just like, off screen, just talking. He was like, Frankenfurter would have loved to be pregnant. I can tell now, like, it was just the best moment ever. So very long stories, but that was such a
Brilliant. Okay, love your mom even more now. Yes, literally. No, that's fantastic. Now, you brought up voiceover work, and you've done the voices for like Batgirl, Artemis, Wonder Woman, clearly showcasing like your comic book love.
Yeah.
If you had
Michael Biehn is here, by the way, and I got to
Yes,
tell
he
him
is.
not only did we, commence Ahsoka
Yes.
together in Mandalorian, but now we get to be a part of the Terminator world because I voice Kokoro.
That's right.
And this new iteration of a new Terminator story that's about to be coming out soon, which is so definitely check it out. It's awesome. The Japanese animation, it's so amazing. Yeah, it's really cool.
Absolutely stunning. Okay, so what I was going to ask, we can throw that out there, because since you brought up the Terminator thing, I wasn't sure we were allowed to talk about that.
You may not say it. I mean, I'm honestly,
Listen,
I'm the worst,
listen.
actually.
It's out here, man. It's
Trust me,
out
I
here.
probably
It's
was
out here.
confused.
When it comes to that franchise, how impressive is it that it has been able to advance with technology and the understanding of what the future could be? How impressive is it to see what this new iteration is?
I mean, the technology was so different,
Right.
and the fathoming of it was so different when it came out when I was a kid. And my family and I used to debate, like, you can't go back into the timeline. Like, we literally have serious debates about this. Every time the movie came out, I'd be like, no, it's they really think that. So it's really dope to see, sort of this new version and sort of concept, and I just think it's really, thinking about being like a truckie when I was a kid, and like tablets and all of those things just being this idea of the future. I remember, Go-Go Gadget belts and like the watch, and all of it was just like cool one day, and now that's just like our kids' normal. I went bowling recently, and they had this little robot that was bringing the food out to people. You know what I'm talking about. It was bringing the food out to folks in their lanes, and I'm looking at this thing like, yo, Wally, like not even, but take it back to short circuit, Johnny Five. So I'm like looking at this like, whoa, and this like 6-year-old kid is just goofing around with it going, and like messing with it because as it's doing, it has all the cameras and it's trying, so the little robot's like, I can't move, there's something in the way. And this kid's playing with it, and I'm like, that's your baseline, like that's your normal.
No, that's how Skynet
so
comes.
wow. And that's how Skynet takes us, guys. They lull us into comfortability.
And now that's awesome. Now,
But I like that there's a conversation because
Yes.
it kind of moves to a different thing of not just this technology potentially being very scary,
Right.
and like first being lulled with the comfort of it that it can bring, and then what damage it can do, but also this sort of other kind of idea going beyond it of like how we can connect with it.
Yes.
How actually that we can collaborate, we can coexist with it. Is that a possibility?
Yes.
And I like that this new iteration of this kind of begs that question in a really interesting way.
Makes the most out of you all. Come on.
They cheer when we
No. You deserve all the cheers, and they will give them to you. Now, can you tell us if there are
he has more bracelets than me, y'all.
What happened?
Between you and Hayden.
What happened was, I just got, no, because the last time you pointed out, I was like, he ain't got that many. I was like, I'm collecting all the bracelets.
We just keep them from each one.
Every single show, I'm just adding to my.
No, you can't cheat like that.
What?
You gotta be of the
Okay. Can you tell us if there are any of the previous iterations from the Terminator franchise that we should watch to prep for watching your show?
Number one is always the key, but I would say like I think that you don't necessarily have to.
Even
because this takes place like just before. I mean, obviously, if you know it, then it kind of gives it to you. But I think that's what's cool about it is that it is for a new generation of people in their window in, and just the animation though is really remarkable and beautiful, but still very terrifying. Like it's really intense and proper looking. So I'm really excited.
Y'all want to come to my watch party? Y'all want to watch it together?
I got real deep.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, so having worked with a few different actors, I found that many of them don't like to watch their work. Do you like to watch?
That.
They do say that. Do you like to watch your movies?
Yeah, so 30 years ago this summer,
Let's go. Let's talk about it.
I filmed my first project,
Come on now.
which was Kids.
And you were...
And I was 15 when I got asked to audition for it. I only worked 4 days on the film. And then the $1,000 I got paid to work on that, my family went on a vacation to Texas, because my dad grew up in Lubbock, Texas. And we drove from New York to Texas, and my mom was like, I love it here. And then we moved to Garland, Texas, a suburb of Dallas. And then a year later, Harmony Korine and Larry Clark were like, where have you been? We've been searching for you. Where did you disappear to? The movie's gonna come out. And I was like, I didn't think anything was gonna come of it. They were picking people off the street for it, so I just didn't really think anything much of it. And then they flew me out for this Harper's Bazaar photo shoot that they were doing. And I did not move back to Texas, I stayed. And I ended up meeting actually Hayden Christensen that summer. So that's next year, summer. The movie was in the theaters. And I started to start pursuing acting. And I have ADHD and I completely lost my train of thought.
That's no. I was asking about whether you watch.
Oh yeah, so okay, back to that. So next year would be 30 years from the first time I watched myself on a film. I had seen myself in this little short film thing that they did for Sesame Street. I don't know if anyone saw that.
Right.
It was like a really huge short film for promoting community gardens in the Lower East Side. So I'd seen like stuff like that, and I thought that was pretty cool. But when I saw myself in Kids, I remember just being super blown away because I was a super nerd, and a calculus tutor, and like a virgin till I was 20, and just not cool or any of those things.
These are all the things that we love about you.
Because I overshare. And did not need to know that. But this character was this very sexually promiscuous character who was just really endangering herself. And to this day, I still have people who come up to me and say, watching that movie potentially saved their life because they were making some very risky choices and decisions and actions, and they suddenly had a visual of what that looked like. And you couldn't make that movie now today because we were all teenagers literally when we made that. And it's banned, in a lot of countries. Because of it, people were like, oh, Euphoria, and I'm like, they're all in their 20s.
Yeah.
And it's like, and it still has the resonance, like the subject matter is there, but there's a different quality to watching Kids just because we really are children when we're filming it. And, I remember just being so blown away. Like, I was watching it, and I really believe I'm that chicken head. Like, I was like, oh, snap. And to the point where, actually, when I started auditioning and wanting to continue acting, people thought because all of us were non-actors who were in it, that I literally was that character. And so they didn't want to take the gamble on me for a really long time. And it wasn't really until my senior year of high school when Spike cast me, he got game. And gave me the character of Lala, and I had to really, perform.
Yes.
He really changed my life because of it by giving me such a juicy character and role. And people started to see that I have range and that I was an actual proper actress, and not just just a one-trick pony. But it was such a special thing, and so I've always watched the stuff that I've done just to kind of make sure that the choices that I'm making are working, and I learn a lot from it because I learn I've worked with so many great directors, and sometimes they're not so communicative. And they don't tell you what movie you're making, and you watch it later and you're like, oh, I wish I would have known this was a black comedy. Like, that would have been might have said that line differently. So it's just, I find it really helpful and informative, and if I'm uncomfortable watching me on there, it's because I didn't do my job, you know? But if I'm feeling like I've disappeared into the character, I love that. The thing I can't watch, like I would never watch this interview. I'd be like that. I'm so quirky, and like, did I need to tell everybody when I lost my voice? I mean, I'm not balking at my. I'm really. I can do both ways too. By the way, like, I'm great at cartwheels. That's not the thing. But it's just, you know, give me a line I can study and then perform as a character. How does it work myself? I appreciate y'all. I don't know how y'all work with it, but.
So listen, I'll open it up for you guys to ask some questions. We got 2 microphones. Be careful. But as they line up, I'm going to ask you one last question. As the commercial says, it only takes 3 licks to get to the center of the Tootsie Roll Pop. Do you think that that's true, or was it out of cheating? This is what you get for
You know, I've been irate about this for so many decades. I mean, it's just, why are you even going to ask the question if you're going to bite it?
That's what I'm saying, right?
Like, it's so not cool. I've been mad at that owl for a really long time. Because I have a whole different relationship with the owl than Ahsoka, obviously. But my first owl, like, we got beef. To this day.
A sucker, bro. Okay.
Also, I'm that person though. Okay, it's absolutely impossible to continue to like get all the way down. You end up biting it. Like, there's just no way. But definitely not after 3 licks. I'm like,
Okay, all right. I just need that confirmation. Thank you. We're gonna start on this.
I'm gonna really try to be much faster with
We
the
got it. Go for it, my friend. How we doing?
Doing great. How are you doing today?
Doing all right.
Huge fan of brand and Ahsoka. If there was a Star Wars musical, what song would Ahsoka sing?
That is a brilliant question. Get out of line. You can't ask such a great Wow. That's a good one.
I'm taking it back.
Yeah.
There's a long
Thank you. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, chills. Oh, is that the anticipation? Oh, I love it. That was a great question. Thank you. Hello.
Hi, you said you're a Star Trek fan. My name is Khan.
Nice.
I saw a video of you dressed as Ahsoka Tano, and you were writing like a kid's speaker. Laid back on it. I was curious if there's a story behind that.
Yeah, you know, it was actually one of those awesome moments where we were not being told to cover up in a full cape. We were able to just kind of roll. And I don't know, like everyone had been taking a ride around, and I'm in New York and I'm from Petra, so that was my version. Like, you know, don't mess with Ahsoka, you know what I'm saying? Pull up.
Thank you. Hello.
Hello. What is your favorite Star Wars sound effect?
Favorite Star Wars sound effect?
I mean, but I'm a big fan of.
Absolutely.
They're just, all of it's really great. Though I have to say, I love those videos that people do online where they take the music and the sound out and they just like have us like our feet squeaking on the floor. That's my kind of ASMR, you know? It's great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi, my name is Jessica, and I have ADHD too, so bear with me as I try to phrase my question correctly. Rosario, first of all, I love you. Not in a creepy way, I promise.
Now it's creepy.
Again, sorry.
Don't protest too much.
Ahsoka is my favorite Star Wars character, as I'm 34, and she helped me get through a lot of dark times through my mental health journey. So seeing you portray her in live action has just been amazing. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
My question to you is, I know all of us have gone on a journey of some kind, and if you feel comfortable with this question, what do you personally like to do to help you with your mental health?
Several things. One of the things I recognize when I'm not in a good place is I don't dance as much, and I'm not singing as much. Like, those are sort of my keys. Like, I'll notice that after a while. Taking a bath is #1 thing for me. I think it's because I saw Splash so many times when I was a child. I'm from Coney Island, and we have the mermaid parade, so I am a mermaid. Like, it's just not even a question. But I start to kind of go into a bad place. So it's like #1 thing, I have to be in a body of water. And I actually just learned something really interesting, that when you're next to, like, say, a lake and it's really placid, like, it literally, because we're composed mostly of water, like, our body takes the resonance of the water that's nearest to us, and so that can really calm you. So I think that's so fascinating that my #1 thing that I do for my mental health is take a bath and ground myself in salt water. Like, I think that's my #1. And then music and dancing are really, really key. And I started doing a lot more meditating, which has been really, really helpful.
Thank you.
Yeah, blessings to you.
Hello. Rosario, in preparation for your role as Ahsoka, what parts do you think you incorporated and wanted to focus on the most from Ahsoka's portrayal in the Clone Wars?
What I really wanted to show how stubborn she was. But, I think the thing that I got the most out of her was the gravity, that you saw her kind of, that really kind of, you could see the impact of, the more and more she went into different wars and battles and struggled with the loss of life that she was responsible for, and how much that gave her pause and wanted to pull back, and how she had to continue to push through. And I think that's one of the most genius things that Dave did in our show, was really, by going back, obviously it helped for people who had never seen Clone Wars or Rebels to be able to have this glimpse of her past, but for the folks who did know it, and on both sides, to see just how young she was, to be this warrior in the middle of the war. And so I think that gravity was the thing that I always took to heart. And I think that was the beautiful arc of our show, was being able to show her start to make peace with that, and what she knows how that impacted her master, but how her own choices have already shown to her what kind of character she had, and that she finally is in a place where she realized she could pass on that kind of teaching to her Padawan. And so I love that, and I hope for her second season that we get to enjoy a little bit that she's healed and had gotten a little more peace about that past and reckoned with it a little bit more. But we'll be able to see her be a little bit lighter, not just in the color of her dress, obviously now, but actually in her spirit. Not that she's not going to have conflict in the present and in the future, obviously, so she's drawn back in the picture, but that part of her being a little healed, which I think you could seeing her be very stoic on most of Ahsoka, and obviously in Boba and Mandalorian beforehand. But I think that'll be really nice to go back to a little bit of that lightness and that spark and that spunkiness that I really love in our films.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. I'll speak up.
I'm sorry. I'm a huge fan of the lightsaber combat. What was like the training when you had those twin lightsabers?
Training, she just does that naturally.
Awesome. Best thing ever. But I definitely, I got some more training to do, porque, I did walk home with a black eye at one point. So, I just better protect my face better. Yeah, that's the plan. Yeah. But I love it. And that's one of these days when I shave my head, I'm going to cosplay Ventress, because so dope. Just for me.
2 words, night nurse. Now that like Dr. Strange is throwing the character to the side, that's not night nurse. We got our night nurse. Disney's still paying you. HR knows who you are. Like Daredevil's coming back. What's up with this night nurse? That's what I want to know.
Wait. Now, I've explained this before. Disney has shooters.
But also Disney knows where I am, so
Exactly.
if I'm ready, she ready.
There you go.
I Matt Murdock for the Walk of Shame with She-Hulk. Oh.
I was gonna say, wait.
I know. I'm just
Oh, okay. I was like,
it's funny, like,
you have moved on to some
I know, I'm moved on, we're gonna do coffees,
all over the table. Good gracious.
Wow, there's children here.
You got coffee. You spilled coffee all over the table. That's what I was saying. What you talking about?
Next question.
Well, hello, Miss Scott. I've been waiting 18 years to say that to you. Clerks 2, Clerks 3.
That was it.
Love to Becky.
18 years I've been waiting to say that. That's all I want to say. My 18-year-old son and I really enjoyed your work in those films. Thank you.
Absolutely.
So throughout your career, was there ever a costume or outfit that you remember as especially comfortable or especially uncomfortable when you're filming all day?
Yes, I did, but no, I would have to say, my Gale costume was probably both. The most comfortable and the most uncomfortable. And we figured out on the very last, 2 days of shooting, that, because I'm in that costume because it's just the strip of black with the, strips on that's kind of going down, garters all the way down. She had made that from leather, the piece that came in the front, so I had a standing board, and I could kind of prop on a seat because I couldn't properly bend my knees because it was a strap of leather. And then the last 2 days of shooting, we're like, oh, let's make that elastic. So yeah, that would be the one. I remember when they handed my costume to me, and I was like, cool. It's gonna be great. You know what I will say? I have my space suit from Pluto Nash.
Oh,
Which is only my mom loves and maybe that one person. But that was my first time in space. So, and the Rocky Horror Picture Show was still playing on the moon.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
Full circle.
Hello. Clerks 3, fantastic film.
Thank you.
My wife is a stone cold woman when it comes to movies. She does not show emotion. She has cried twice in her life in films. Clerks 3 and Godzilla -1.
Oh, it's so good. Dave texted me, he's like, it's so good.
Oh yeah. Well, we have a little girl. She's going to be 4 this December, and both of us being parents, it is pretty hard to watch that. But anyway, Clerks 3, fantastic.
Thank you.
Being on that film, being on that set for a series that's known for its lightheartedness and its tongue-in-cheekness, how hard was that to switch it up for you for that type of film?
That wasn't hard because we almost lost Kevin. So, there had been a different version of that script that had been written that I never got to read because he wrote it, wanted to shoot it, the third one, and then he got excited about this podcast or some article he read about this terrible roommate and the Mr. Tusk ended up being prioritized.
Right.
Still scarred from working. And then he almost died and had what they call widowmaker heart attack. And then he rewrote 3 to be what it is now. Convinced me to do it because he said I was going to be a Force ghost. And then when I showed up on set, he was like, A, I don't want to get sued, and B, I don't have that kind of money. So I thought I wanted to do I was trying so hard, but we didn't get to do it. But it was just really special, and we were so grateful to all be together and have Kevin there and being healthy, and Jason as well. It's been such a transition and such a I remember when we shot Clerks 2, Kevin would be locked up into this little room while we were filming in this like motel that was right adjacent to the place we were filming, and just like the plume of cigarette smoke that would come out when you open up the door, and like, you know, it was just the very unhealthy kind of practices back then that he's very forthright about now. And, you know, I'm just so grateful that he's taken his health so seriously and that we still have him. We can keep playing. I have a little cameo in 4:30 movie. I don't know if you've seen the trailer.
Let's go.
Coming of age story that he's on. It's so dope. And while I saw something he just said, that a press that he was doing, and he said another Clerks.
What?
So I don't know if I get to muscle my way into that one since he don't killed me, but I would hope so.
Absolutely.
There's the other James Hamlet.
Right, Jason, I'm not got that follow-up. That's right.
But thank you, I appreciate it.
I appreciate you. Blessings to your family.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi, so the one of the things that you most liked about Book of Boba Fett is or I'm assuming is the second meeting between Luke and Ahsoka. And what do you think, besides the fate of Anakin, which would be the most interesting thing, would the second most interesting thing in that conversation be? And obviously, we'd love to see that. So please tell Dave, even if they just have the two of you and Mark Hamill just sitting for an hour talking, we'd love to see that.
I mean, all I try to do is make him laugh so I can hear that Joker laugh. It's so good. We just did a reading of Fright Night for a podcast. Definitely check it out. It's so good. And it's most of the original cast. I was beside myself. Chris Sarandon for life.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm obsessed with it. So that would be so great, because I think, you know, there was a lot of behind the scenes kind of stage setting that Dave gave us after I walked on stage and even found out who I was doing the scene with. But I think, you know, I think when he doesn't give exactly what the fans want, because it's be so loaded to have that conversation, and you know, it's we're allowed to kind of just imagine it, you know, and kind of bring something else there. But yeah, I would be so curious. You know, I think about, there's that little comic strip that has come out where you see her talking with Luke, and you know, him telling her that he turned to the light in the end, and her like, I like looking at the comics little strip that someone fan wrote, like with her welling of her eyes, like that's truly how I imagine that conversation going. So I have to say, I really love the fan fiction and art and things that comes out, because I think it really fills in those spaces of the stuff that we all wish that we could see. And as big and robust as the world has been expressed in all of these different films and things over the years, you can't cover every moment, and I just think it's so dope that so many of the fans fill in those spaces and voids and give people that experience and that texture that they add to it. And that's definitely one for me that I feel like answers that beat.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Now, I have to be the bad guy and say that we only have like 5 minutes.
No!
So if we can like lightning round, like yes or no type questions. Can we do that?
Yes.
Good job.
My name's Annie. Actually, you might actually know my uncle Charlie Adler. He's actually really good friends with Tim Curry. So he actually is.
That's awesome.
And he is really a great guy. Awesome guy. But my question is actually, knowing that Ahsoka was so popular in the animation world, as you can tell, did you watch the animations like the Rebels and all that to kind of help you prepare for the role of Ahsoka?
Yes.
Hi, I apologize for bringing this up. I love you and Percy Jackson every single time I watch it. For 70, are the Leku heavy?
They've gotten less heavy. Good.
There we go.
Yes. Right on.
Hello.
I'm so sorry, I don't know how to phrase it as a yes or no question, but you can try to be brief. What's your relationship like with Ashley Eckstein, and how did she influence your...
I'm obsessed with her. I love her. It looks like in every single picture, it looks like I'm trying to eat her. She's just wonderful, and she's a Disney princess, like in real life, for sure. And the best signature. I'm sorry, guys. I tried to sign. I signed next to hers, and I'm like, she's got 15 years on me.
Hello, Rosario. Alejandro. My question is, if you were to do a Hot Ones interview, how far do you think you would make it? Would you like wait until it's gonna be okay, like most people, or do you actually do like all part of your...
I'm super competitive, so I would absolutely go through all the way, but it would be like a Ren and Stimpy episode. It's so bad. Ice cream bar. Like, I would look insane. Here, I'll be crying through that just to make it through.
We need to have this happen.
Keep my ghetto fire.
I need it. Hello.
Hey, Rosario. I'll make this fast as possible. So when Ahsoka encounters Anakin in the world between worlds, where was she at, like headspace-wise, toward her old master at that point in time when she sees him?
I think, you see it a little bit alluded to when she got to meet Grogu, and the question of taking him on as a Padawan. And, as she said, he was the greatest. And where the depths to which he plunged, I think, is something that tremendously haunts her and scares her. And I think that's absolutely where she's at. So when she confronts him and she doesn't want to fight him, she doesn't want those different things, the idea that she has to vocally say, I choose to live, because I think a part of her has been dead. I think a part of her has just not been in expression. And so in that battle and that choice, and I love that, like some people question whether that happened or not, but it absolutely did. When she takes his saber from him and the red in her eyes hits, it's like she gets to that point of anger. She allows all that frustration and pain to come to the hilt, and then she chooses to let it go. And I think what's so beautiful about that confrontation that they have in the conversation is that, he asks her, is that all that I was? Is that all that I am? And like really, I think gives us the gift to imagine, even in our worst, when we've made terrible choices, we can still be appreciated for the depth and the wholeness of us. We are not just our greatest moment or our worst. There's so much more that we bring to the table, and that's what makes life so beautiful, is that constant choice that we have every single day to show up, and
Can we get just one? Can we get to two? It's literally 4
Quick.
1, 2.
Go.
I'm so sorry. Hi, my name is Christina. Hi, I am actually a former Disney cast member. I actually just finished my Disney college program at Andrew.
Congratulations.
It's so nice to meet you. As a former Disney cast member, I love how storytelling brings people together. How do you make Ahsoka your own while also staying true to her Star Wars legacy, especially for fans who are just now discovering her?
I just, my favorite moment, I think, on set was with Shauna before we even shot anything and trying on her new outfit and just realizing, like, I wasn't doing cosplay. I was doing a new story, a new adventure, and I think that's what's so great about this character. I think she's got one of the best developed arcs in Star Wars history, but I think in almost all, kind of, when I think of so many different stories and places that I've looked at, she's just so remarkable to me, and the idea that she still has some place to go. And that's one of the things, we've talked about this before, but one of the things that I just love talking to Dave about it, because he always brings her to Gandalf. And that's something that's so interesting. When you first encounter Gandalf, he's just so omnipotent, there's the power that he has, and even still he has levels of development and evolvement to evolve to, you know what I mean? And I think that's what makes it so special. When you think about Bruce Lee, and who still continues as a human being to push himself to be better, and his library of works and his writings and his philosophizing, he never took it for granted, his greatness, and he just used that discipline to continue to develop his expertise. And I like that you don't hit a place where now I'm the greatest and then leave it at that. There's always still something to aspire to, and that's what I see that we're getting to do with her.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I want to ask my extra long questions very quick, and it's just a comment, not even a question. Now I believe that perfect casting does exist. It's perfect. You're perfect.
Thank you. It's Tim Curry's Drake and Burger, do we all agree? Also in Legends, also in Clue, also in Ferngully.
Is that a young one?
Yeah.
We can't not have the young one.
Good man.
Go ahead. What's your question?
So how did it feel when you first met Grogu? And did he actually feel real?
Did he feel real? Yes. Grogu is really, really cute. Never mind the creepy teeth. Is really, really adorable, and I have to say it was really cool because the guys who operate him are the same people who operated the worm guys in Men in Black 2, which is really cool. And it's just remarkable. I got to be there on the day that George Lucas, the only time he's come to visit on any of the show's sets was on Ahsoka, just before the big battle between myself and Morgan Elspeth. And that blurry picture that John posted that almost broke the internet, I was standing right next to him. I got cropped out. Not yet. And you know, we were just all, it's amazing, you know, when you're holding him and there's different people operating him, but the ears are moving, the eyes are moving, the mouth is moving, the hands are moving. And it's just really, really, really cool. Like, there's just something. So I love puppets and, you know, real props that we get to use, and there's just something so amazing and powerful, magical, because he's like a little baby Yoda. You know? So we loved him before we even knew he existed.
Forgive me, guys that are in line. We do have to wrap it up right now.
Can I just give her a shout out? Yeah.
He's like, yo, to my mom.
Shout out to me since he wanted to.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Fan Expo Chicago, make some noise. Rosario Dawson.
Thank you for watching this episode of Legends and Theories. Please subscribe, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, check out the video on screen, and may the Force be with you.